Hi and welcome to this video in which we look at the steps you need to take to get from a table or tables in QPSMR Insight through to producing charts in Microsoft Office. Now what we're going to do first of all is just produce a simple quick table and then look at the elements of that and see what we need to do to refine it so that it works well when we come to put that into Excel. So I'm going to do a quick table. And I'm going to pick as my columns region and my rows industry type question 5, and I run that table, and that produces a table for me which might be what I want to put into a chart in Excel, for example. Now we look at this and you'll see a few things that's not quite right with it, but actually I'm going to save this and preserve it so that we can look at the CSV file that it produces. So I've preserved it. And now if I switch windows, here's my table in a CSV file, which is a much more convenient place to start doing charts from. Now what you'll see is that what you get in the CSV file is that you get the table pretty much looking the same. The headings don't split over rows, over different columns as they do in a text table, but otherwise pretty much the layout is as you would expect. But you get this extra column here which tells QPS or tells us what each row of the table is. So you can see here TB is the table number, which is table number 1. VT is the title. CL is the column labels. RT is the total row, and RW are the rows of the table with the raw counts, and PV is the percentages, and so on. So this is what we're going to use broadly to get the chart that we want. Now one thing that you'll notice is that when we have figures and percentages, we get the texts against the figures, but nothing against the percentages. So if we wanted to do a chart on percentages, it'll be better if we don't show the counts, we just show the percentages. So if I want to do a table on figures rather than on percentages, I would use the option that gets rid of percentages, and if I wanted to do a chart on percentages, I would use the option that gets rid of the figures, so that I've only got the output that I want for my particular chart. The other thing that you might not want is the total column. It's quite common that you don't do a chart on the total, you just do it on the splits, maybe for north, central and south. So I'd probably suppress that as well. But if I do those two things, I think that'll make the chart much more easy to work with. The other option I might want is BRS, so that I get rid of any blank rows in there, like the not given at the bottom there. So let's tidy this up and then see if we do that, what it'll do for us in helping us get to a table that we can use. So I'm going to use 3 options here. I'm going to choose BRS to get rid of the blank rows, NPTC to get rid of that total column that I don't need, and NPRC to get rid of the raw counts. Now if I didn't want the percentages, NRTV would be the option that you would choose, and that would just give you the raw counts. But I'm going to choose NPRC, so I get rid of the raw numbers but just keep percentages. Now let's run that. Let's have a look at the table we get now, and that looks much more like what I want to use in my chart. So I'm going to save that, and as you know, when you produce quick tables, if you don't make a full table set, the tables are stored in Quick 001, and now because I've saved the previous set of tables, this one's in Quick 002. So I'm going to preserve that output, and I'm now going to go back to my folder, and now I've got some tables that are close to being what I want. Now I've got these blank lines in between, but we can soon deal with that. And what I can do to just get the figures that I need, I can actually use the filter option in Excel, and I can choose which of these rows that I want. Now I don't want everything. I might want the title, which is VT. I probably want the column labels, and I want the percentages. That's probably all I need for my chart. And now I've actually only got the information that I need to produce my chart. So if we just select the part of the table that we need, we should be in a position now to insert a chart. So I can pick a chart, and this chart here looks pretty good. Again, I can choose one of the other options if I want to. Let's pick that on, click OK. But really now I'm just into using Excel. I need to change that chart title. I could link it to that cell there, for example. But basically what we've got now is we've moved from producing those tables in QPSMR Insight and getting the figures in a nice tidy way in Excel, which we can now save this. If we save this as an XLX workbook, we could even bring that through to PowerPoint, Word, or any other Office document to show that chart. And of course we could adjust these options in Excel themselves. Well, I hope that helps you to get your figures from QPSMR Insight more easily into Office for doing charting. There's several other videos in this series which will hopefully help you to get up and running using QPSMR Insight. Thank you.